First of all, thank you everyone for coming. This is amazing, and we couldn't sustain ourselves without all the community. Clean Energy has done so much for the city of Gloucester, and with under the direction of Matt Coogan, we are Green Gloucester, and we are going even further. So it's just amazing, and the education, you have to still keep doing it. There is climate changes, there is things that are happening. Maybe out over that bridge, people don't understand it, but on this side of the bridge, we have to educate all our friends and families. It's a new experience for me, and I'm loving it, and I really am. And I won't go on of what happened this week because you're all going to hear it on my live Facebook and everywhere else. So enjoy it. Bring your children around. Call your family. It's just a great program for the kids to learn. We just played a game on, and I was really surprised. My granddaughter did, what's trash, what's compost, what's recycle. She got everything right except wax, and I was confused. And you know what? And she won a little prize, and the other one's crying, but we'll go do it again. And now we all know all the answers. But the fact is, the children are learning in our schools. And my granddaughter's 8, and she's teaching me, also educating me. So thank you very much.
Sure. Well, thank you, Mayor, for that introduction. As Dick said, my name is Matt Coogan. I work for the City of Gloucester. I work in the Community Development Department. My official title is Senior Planner, but for the past 4 years, I've been managing Gloucester's clean energy initiatives, mainly our Green Communities designation. So I was here at the first Town Green Energy Fair. So this presentation is going to be an update of what we've been doing since that last fair. And again, thank you to the Town Green folk, all the volunteers that put this together. We're really lucky to be in a community to have such active people really trying to lower our carbon footprint, be greener, and promote clean energy. It's a great community to work in. I'm really grateful that I work for the city, and I live in Essex, so I'm a Cape Anner as well. But thank you, Town Green, for putting this together. I'm sort of a Cape Anner. I'm over the bridge, so. And just to plug, Massachusetts and Gloucester in general, the American Council for an Energy Efficiency Economy has deemed Massachusetts the #1 most energy efficient state, I believe, for 4 years in a row. So that's something we should all be proud of. And last fall, Environment Massachusetts did a survey for all Massachusetts communities about what they're doing for climate change, clean energy, and energy efficiency. And we were recognized as one of the leading Massachusetts communities, Gloucester, in sustainability, renewable energy, and energy conservation. So I'm very proud of that as well. We actually received an award from the state this past winter. We were awarded a Leading by Example award by the state for, again, being a leader in clean energy, energy efficiency as a municipality. So also very proud of that. And so the outline of my presentation, I'll tell you about our team that's doing all these great things. I'll tell you about the Green Communities program that Gloucester is a part of, and actually all Cape Ann communities are now a part of. I'll talk about electric vehicles that we have for the city. We have those wind turbines, and I'll give you some statistics about that. And as the mayor mentioned, we just launched a new campaign. It's called Gloucester Green, and I'll share that with you as well. So here's our team. It doesn't happen without the leadership of the mayor, and we're very fortunate that Mayor Safathia is thinking forward and promoting clean energy and has a staff that's dedicated towards doing it. The mayor also appoints a Clean Energy Commission. This is a volunteer group of 7 members. They're all here today, I believe. There's a few in the back. Candace Wheeler is our chair. And this group vets a lot of the ideas and lets the city know this is a great idea. We should be looking into this. For instance, LED streetlights. The Clean Energy Commission started working in that back in 2010. And here we are, last summer, we just completed a citywide LED streetlight conversion. So that's kind of how that process works. I work in the Community Development Department. So my job is managing that Green Communities designation, so doing state reporting, but also finding grant opportunities to help implement projects. Our Department of Public Works actually does the work, and we're very fortunate to have a director and staff that, again, is very forward thinking. I mean, a lot of what DPW does is maintenance. It's a lot of the dirty work, but they're also thinking about how we do it in a more sustainable way. So we're very fortunate to have a department like that. And then there's the nonprofits and our partnerships with local groups like Town Green, like Action. There's a lot of groups locally. So that's kind of what our team is, and we're all working together, which is great to make this community a better place. So I'll tell you briefly about the Green Communities program. It originated from the Green Communities Act of 2008. Gloucester was one of the very first communities to receive that designation. And in order to do so, you have to meet the 5 criteria that are on the screen. Basically, we had to make an energy reduction plan to reduce our energy load by 20%. We have to purchase only fuel-efficient vehicles. We have a policy for that. And as a community, we had to adopt the Energy Stretch Code, which is a more stringent building code for energy efficiency. These are all the green communities. Now, right at this point, there's 185. Like I mentioned, Rockport recently became a green community, so all Cape Ann communities are green communities, which is great. I think that, because of that, over $1 million of grant funding has come to these communities to help do energy reduction projects for municipal properties. So it's a great achievement. So once you become a green community, there is grant funding, but there's also tools that we use to help measure and track our progress. That helps us figure out where we should be devoting our resources, prioritizing what projects we should be focusing on, and then there's some funding tied to it, and then we implement. And that's kind of what the incentive of being a green community is. Here's a snapshot of the software that I use. All these bar charts equate with how our buildings are using energy versus how our streetlights, how our vehicles. So it's all spelled out for you. I highlighted the circle is a chart of our energy use since 2009, and I didn't mention this. I'd like to mention that we just achieved our 20% energy reduction goal as a community this past fiscal year of 2000. So we're very proud of that. Thank you. And again, it's all about the team that helped do it and the people I mentioned earlier. Here's another snapshot of this. It's called Mass Energy Insight is the software that we use. The square on the right, it shows our biggest energy users and our most energy inefficient buildings. So obviously we have 2 very large buildings. One is this building, the O'Malley Middle School, and the other is our high school. So you can see on the chart, the top 2, they are using a lot of energy, and there's also room to make these buildings more energy efficient. So this is a tool that we use when we help prioritize and fund projects. Over $3 million of projects have been completed using the Green Communities program. So half of that $3 million was funded partially from Green Communities grants and the other through national good rebates and incentives. And that helps get us over the edge, because a lot of these projects go above and beyond what a normal city would do as far as maintenance and repair and capital improvements. So we're able to tackle these capital improvements that need to get done, but we're also able to utilize funding to make these improvements even greener and more sustainable for the future. A couple projects that we've worked on most recently. This is here in the O'Malley School. These were the original boilers up until 2015. They're oil fired. They weren't very efficient. We applied for a Green Communities funding. It was an $800,000 project, and we converted to gas, and these are 96% ultra efficient boilers. They're just, I'm not sure where we are. We're down the hall, I believe. So that was a very exciting project. Reduced energy use in this building by 20%. And then the other big project, like I mentioned, that we just finished is the citywide LED streetlight conversion. Roughly 2,800 streetlights. It was a $1.2 million project. Again, we received a grant of $240,000 from Green Communities, another $225,000 from National Grid. The result is a 66% energy reduction for our streetlights, which is about $130,000 annually. So the payback for this project is going to be about 5 or 6 years. And we are one of the first communities to use a new type of streetlight. It is a warmer, lower color temperature streetlight. Traditional, conventional LED streetlights had a lot of blue light in it, which created a lot of glare in the night sky. It was also bad for wildlife and people as far as disruption of circadian rhythms. So we're one of the first communities through a public process where we asked everyone, do you like this light? Do you like this light? And everyone liked the warmer colored light. And I think it was a great decision, and we received national recognition for that as well. I can take questions at the end. Yeah, please. Again, before, it's a little dark, it's a night shot. Before and after, the street light on the left is the old high pressure sodium light. Light kind of emanated everywhere. There was a lot of spray. It wasn't lighting the street necessarily, and to the right, well, I'll have this posted on the website and you can get a better look at it. The point is, these lights are cut off, they're shining directly down on the street. It's a better quality of light. It's a truer light. It's easier for public safety to identify colors of vehicles. It's great for pedestrians and drivers as well. So it was a great project. Again, we're a stretch energy community, and just to give you an idea of what the stretch energy code produces for buildings that are constructed based on that code are usually 15 to 20% more energy efficient than conventional buildings in Massachusetts. Since we became a green community, 171 single-family homes, 31 two-family homes, 3 multifamily buildings have all been constructed using the stretch energy code. So that's our Green Communities program. We've also been able to utilize other state programs. This is the Mass Electric Vehicle Incentive Program. So we have a fleet now. We have 6 all-electric Nissan Leafs. We use them for inspectional services. You'll probably see them around town. I have one parked out in front. It has the Gloucester city seal in green. So they're used by our electrical inspector, our plumbing inspector, health inspector, conservation agent. So you'll see them around town. And just a nice shot of, we did a ceremony when we first got the cars, and we have members of the Clean Energy Commission with the mayor and Councilor Lundberg as well. So these cars, they're entirely electric. We retired a bunch of Crown Victorias in order to do this. So you can imagine the difference in carbon emissions between a 2000 Crown Victoria and a 2015 or 2016 Nissan Leaf is fairly substantial. In addition to these vehicles, the grant also funded the installation of 2 dual-headed electric vehicle charging stations. There's one at City Hall, and there's one at my office at the City Hall Annex, and those are available for the public to charge, and we're doing that at no cost. Additional cost on top of the parking meter. We have wind turbines. I think everyone knows that. There's 3 of them. 2 are, the city has a relationship with the private owners of the turbines. Those 2 turbines are about 400 feet high. They have a nameplate rating of 2 megawatts each. And what happens, it's a little complicated, but essentially the city has a relationship with these turbines. Equity Industrial Turbines owns them, operates them. They produce electricity. The city buys all the electricity that is produced by these turbines, and we buy it at a discount of roughly 25%. And that equates to, based on how much energy we use, between $200,000 and $400,000 a year that we save as a municipality. And I can tell you the past 3 years, we're about midway to about $300,000 to $350,000 is what we save annually because of these turbines. Again, these are some fun pictures. I wasn't around when the turbines were delivered, but they came by barge. There was a blade signing. I don't know if anyone was here for that, which was pretty neat. And again, how are they performing? They basically produce between 75 and 85% of the municipal electrical load. So the city schools, city hall, the police departments. So that's about 7.5 to 8.5 million kilowatt hours of electricity. And the bar chart, this is from 2013, but the bar chart, you can see that in the spring and the winter, they're really cranking because it's very windy. And then in the fall as well, and it kind of calms down a little bit in the summertime. So we can enjoy the summer. So we are a wind community. We're one of the few in the state that was able to permit and install these turbines, and I think that's great. But solar is also another way to promote renewable energy locally. I've been tracking building permits in the building department of how many solar installations there have been. So since January 1st of 2014, we've had 341 solar installations in Gloucester. That's about 9,500 panels and $9 million of investment. And I do want to say that the past year, out of that 341, 2/3 of that came from this past year. So we basically doubled the amount of installations from fiscal year 2015 to fiscal year 2016.